Hi everybody, it's Cathryn from In the Pink Designs. My project today is a two-piece box. Together it measures 5 3/4 by 3 1/2 by 1 1/4. Alrighty, and it opens like this. Now I put a ribbon around the whole thing. You don't have to do that, but it fits nicely the way I have it measured out here. But if you put a lot of heavy things in here, it might fall if they hold it by the top, so you might want to put the ribbon there, or just if you don't have someone that you think will hold it by up here, you don't have to put the ribbon at the top. Alright, I used the Easter Bunny stamp set along with the framed Florets dies for this one right here. That's 2 pieces when you do one die cut, so I cut the outside out of basic white and the inside out of the Dandy Designs DSP, which is also this here, which is free with a $100 per purchase until the end of February with Saleabration. Alright, this is my host code. If you're going to purchase anything from Stampin Up through me, please put that in. I would appreciate that. Okay, so we need for this project some basic white for stamping. We need a piece of fresh Freesia that is 10 by 6 3/4 and a piece of the Dandy Designs DSP that is 10 1/8 by 5 3/4. Alrighty, and all these measurements will be on my blog if you want to double check them. I need the outside of the frame out of basic white and the inside out of a different pattern of the Dandy Designs. Alright, so let's start by doing the bottom of our box. And I'm going to get my Simply Scored. And we're going to start on the 10-inch side. And we're going to score at 1/2, 4, 5 1/4, and 8 3/4. We're going to turn it to the 6 3/4 inch side, and we're going to score at 1 1/4. Okay, so that's the bottom. Now for the top, we're going to start on the 10 1/8 inch side, and we're going to score at 1 1/4, 4 3/4, 6, and 9 5/8. Okay, then we're going to turn it to the 5 3/4 inch side, and we're going to score at 1 1/4. All right, and I'm going to fold and burnish both pieces. Okay, we're going to start with the bottom. And the skinny rectangle is on the left, and there's a 1 1/4 inch strip on the bottom. Okay, and this is what we're going to be doing. Okay. Alright, so we're going to start on the left, and we're going to go to the first score line, cut it to the first score line, and wedge up just a little bit into the skinny rectangle. Next score line to the first score line, and the next score line to the first score line, and wedge the square. Okay, go to the next score line, cut it to the first score line, and wedge each side of the square. Okay, and that's what your bottom should look like after you're done scoring it and cutting it. Okay, so now for the top. Okay, there is a 1/2 inch rectangle on the right hand side and a 1 1/4 inch strip on the bottom. And this is what we're going to do. The only thing we're not going to do is wedge here where I wedged this piece. We're only going to wedge it up there. Alright, so let's start on the left hand side again. We'll go to the first score line, cut it to the first score line, and wedge each side of the square. Next score line, cut it to the first score line, and the next score line, cut it to the first score line, and wedge each side of the square. Okay, now we're going to go to the next score line, cut it to the first score line, and then we're just going to cut that straight off. Go to the top and just wedge a little bit off of the rectangle there on the top. Okay. All right, so let's put the bottom together first. So the skinny rectangle is on the left-hand side. I'm going to take some tear and tape and put it on there next to the score line. And I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool to take that backing off. Okay, I'm going to flip it over, flip the side with the tape, and then flip the other side to meet it. And I'm going to stand it up, and I'm going to put a little circle of glue on each tab. And then I'm going to put the back flap down, making sure that the sides are straight. And then I'm going to put some more glue on the back of the front flap and put that down. Okay, then just turn it over and push down those tabs in there to make sure that they adhered. All right. Now we'll put that to the side, and we're going to bring in our top, which means it's going to go like this with those cut edges at the top, and the skinny rectangle is on the left. All right, and we're going to put some tear and tape on the skinny rectangle next to the score line. Take the backing off. Okay, now we're going to flip it over. We're going to flip over the side with the tape, and we're going to flip the other side over to meet it. And mine's not matching up 100%, so I'm just going to make sure that the edges meet. So I must have cut this a little bit off. Okay. All right, now we're going to slip it on our box, just like this. A little more difficult when it's not all the way together, but okay, then just push it down to where the top is. Then we're going to put our tabs in. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on there, just like we did the top, and then we're going to pull the back flap down. And it's okay if a little bit of the sides stick out. It's all right. It's not a big deal. All right, and then put glue on the back of the front flap. And then this front flap is going to be about a 1/16 to an 1/8 of an inch short of the complete edge. And that's okay. And that's what will make our box open and close more easily. Okay? Now you can fit, it's pretty big inside, so you can fit a whole bunch of treats and snacks or a nice gift in there. All right, so we'll let that dry while we do some stamping. So I need our basic white Tuxedo Black ink, and from the Easter Bunny stamp set, we're going to be doing this bunny, these eggs, and this floral right there. So I'll do the floral, and then the eggs, and then the bunny. Okie doke. And I'm going to fussy cut out everything. Alright, now we're going to use some Stampin Blends. And first I'm going to use some light polished pink in this ear here. and a tiny bit on the nose, and then a little circle for a cheek. And then I'm going to use light smoky slate, and mine is almost dead, so it's going to be a little bit dicey. But I'm just going to go over everything, even the pieces that I went over with fresh polished pink. I'm just going to go over them to kind of blend them in a little bit. And I'm not going to do the belly. I'm just going to extend the face down a little bit and just do the rest of the arms and body and legs, but not the tail and not that belly in there. They're going to stay white. Okay, and that's the bunny. All right, now for the flowers. First, let's do light granny apple green. And I'm going to do the leaves. These little dots right here. And the leaves back over here. Okay, then I'm going to take light fresh Freesia and do the flower that's in the middle. And the flower all the way over to the left. Okay, and then I'm going to do the other two flowers with light balmy blue. Okay, and then the middle of the flowers with dark daffodil delight. All right, so that's the flowers. All right, now for the Easter eggs. For the striped one, I'm going to do light and dark granny apple green, and I'm just going to do every other one. Okay, and for the spotted egg, I'm going to use light and dark fresh Freesia. And I'm going to do the light in between the circles and the dark on the circles. Okay, and for the checkered one, I'm going to use light and dark balmy blue, and I'm just going to do every other one. And there's the eggs. All right, so now we need our frame. And first we're going to put our glittered organdy ribbon around the long side of the box. And I'm going to tie the bow right at the top of the front. All right, and I'm going to just leave it a little bit long so that they can tie it back without too much trouble. All right, and then what I'm going to do is turn over my frame and make sure the inside oval is nicely spaced in there. It's not cocked to the side or anything. And then I'm going to take dimensionals. Okay. And I'm just going to put dimensionals around it on all four sides, kind of, so that it holds on to our frame nicely. And then I'll put one in the middle. All right, and then I'm just going to make sure that my ribbon is in the center. And I'm just going to put the oval down about even. And I'm just going to press it. All right. And then I'm going to put my bunny kind of right in the middle with dimensionals also. I need some mini dimensionals on the ears to keep them down. Alright, and I'm just going to put him about right there. Alright, and then we're going to put, I'm just going to glue, no, I'm going to put dimensionals on this too. I guess I need minis for this also. I'm just going to put 2. Well, maybe 3. Okay, and I'm going to put this right about right there. Okay, and then the eggs, I'm going to put 2 right here and 1 right there, and we're going to put them with dimensionals too. I can use regulars for these, they're big enough. All right, I'm going to put these right there, and this one right there. So it's kind of the bottom. Let me just adjust this one. I want to have them kind of frame the bottom, but I don't want them to show any of that, much of that, this oval come through. Okay. All right, and now for the final touch, I'm going to use some opaque gems in white. And I'm going to put a large one right there, a medium one right there, and another medium one right up there. And that's it. If you have any questions, my email is below. Also the link to my shop and the link to my blog, which has all the measurements. Alrighty, please subscribe and hit the like button. And have a great weekend. I will see you next week. Bye.